What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the 10-7 MMA channel. And this is my recap of UFC London, which just took place earlier today. I actually didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact. Long story, but I want to watch it live. But anyways, I'm going to talk about the top three fights on the main card, which were those were the only fights that I watched. I did hear Molly McCann retired, but these were the fights that I was most interested in. And I told you guys on Friday, look out for this fight because I did believe that Kevin Holland's back was against the fence, and it was really important for him to get this win. I didn't think he was going to get cut per se if he lost, but I think maybe one more loss after that, and those discussions might have happened, which would have been a shame because Kevin Holland is a really fun fighter. He's extremely athletic. He's very young. He's only 32, which actually that may not have been correct. Even if he did get a loss or two losses or three losses, he may have stuck around still because he's really fun. He's young. He's very talented. But this was really cool because I think Kevin Holland looked amazing in this fight. His cardio was awesome. His jiu-jitsu was great. Obviously, Gunnar Nelson had that early takedown in round one and was doing some damage on the ground, but Kevin Holland stayed in there and he was moving around. He was trying to fight, trying to get back up. And I think his striking really did some great damage. He had almost finished, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, he almost finished Gunnar Nelson, I think at the end of the first or the second. I'm blanking on exactly when, but Gunnar went back to, I think it was at the end of the first. Gunnar went back to his cage extremely wobbled, and it felt like he never fully was able to recover. And Kevin just looked awesome, came out. I think he was even, maybe there were some questions. I don't know. I felt like he was 100% going to win a unanimous decision. He did get a unanimous decision. But yeah, so cool. So great to see Kevin Holland pull it out. I wonder what this means in terms of his training. Has he changed things? Has he upped his game? Is he being more ambitious now with his career in terms of maybe wanting to get in there and be getting back into the title talks? Another thing that he mentioned too was how he notices a big strength differential at 185 versus 170. I hope he stays at 170 as a result. I feel like this weight class really suits him. He was able to thwart the grappling much better. I mean, he fought RDR weight class up last time, so no wonder he didn't have the same abilities or the same strength advantage that he has here at 170. So I hope he stays at 170, and I hope he pushes to go back to the top 10, top 5 of this division, because I think just from his athleticism, from his age, and from what he can do all around in terms of his full MMA game, I think he could do it. I think he could be back in those discussions. So I was really happy to see Kevin Holland win. He's a fan favorite. He's fun to watch. He gets everybody excited. The fact that he's won again and back with a win streak, I think is exciting, and an overall win for the UFC and fans as well. All right, moving on to the second fight, the co-main event. Jan Błachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. The announcers were talking the entire time about how they wanted to see either guy kind of pick it up and push the pace, maybe take some chances, take some risks. I never know what to make of this because it's obviously two guys who know exactly what they're talking about, right? Michael Bisping, former champ, and of course, Paul Felder, the Irish Dragon, both MMA fighters, both professional fighters. So it's hard for me to listen to what they're saying and disagree with it. They've been in there. They've competed at the highest level. But I guess, in my opinion, when I was watching, and I want to hear Justin's take on Monday, but to me, I felt like they were fighting a very strategic fight. Obviously, Jan Błachowicz, I think he shot one takedown that I remember in round 3, but other than that, it was more of a striking match, a chess match, and I enjoy these striking matches. I don't know if they had perhaps made a mistake by being more cautious, being more reserved, because obviously you always risk rushing in and getting knocked out. And I think they were both being very conscientious and respectful of the other fighter's skill set and knockout ability. I also wonder too, because Jan Błachowicz, I think, as I mentioned, only shot one takedown late in the fight. You always got to wonder when you have a long layoff, what's happening in training. He had double shoulder surgery. Maybe he wasn't comfortable or confident grappling on the ground because maybe he's had some things going on with his shoulders, and that's part of the reason why he kept it more on the feet. I don't know. These are all questions that I don't know if we're going to get an answer to. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But regardless, it was great to see Jan back in there, and I thought it was a pretty even match. I think the commentators were saying it could have gone either way. We didn't know how it was going to go down. We ended up with, I think it was a unanimous decision in round 3 for Carlos Ulberg, and that's also really exciting for the division. We saw how great he looks on the feet, his striking prowess and his athleticism. He's 8-0 in the lightweight division. He was talking about a title shot, and this makes this division very, very interesting because we obviously just had the changing of the guard with Ankalaev. They're going to have that rematch most likely, but Carlos Ulberg is going to be waiting in the wings. What's that mean? Is he going to fight somebody in the meantime, or is he going to be next in line for the next winner? I don't know. But Carlos Ulberg is an exciting fighter. I can't wait to see him move up. And Jan Błachowicz is still right in the mix. I believe he's 42. Will he stick around and still fight a few more times? I believe so. He said on the Ariel Helwani show how much he loves fighting and that he wants to be back in there and keep fighting. And he looked really good against somebody who's 7-0, young, hot, in the division, doing great things. So I think this is overall, regardless of the result, I think it's a positive for the division as a whole. So hopefully we'll see both of these guys back soon, but let's see what happens with Carlos Ulberg. Very exciting. Okay, here is the crazy fight. I and Justin both felt as though Leon Edwards was going to pull it off. He sounded confident. He sounded like he was ready to go, wanted to come in there with a point to prove. And we know Leon has fought he's fought all grapplers in those last 4 fights, right? He fought Usman twice. He fought Colby, wrecked Colby, and then he fought Belal. And Belal obviously got the better of him, although he had some moments in there. I think it was the 5th round where he was looking good, and maybe people thought he might, I can't remember exactly, that he might turn the fight around, but he didn't. Lost to Belal. But he's been talking very confidently, saying he would beat Belal 10 out of 10 times if they were to fight again. I thought he was going to go in there and get it done. And to my surprise, Sean Brady not only got it done, but he dominated that fight. He had his way with Leon. It wasn't just, obviously he did a ton of damage on the ground, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but he looked quite crisp on the feet. And I actually really want to see, after watching this performance, I really want to see Sean Brady fight Belal again. I know Sean Brady has mentioned that was a really bad version of himself when he fought Belal. I think he believes he can get the win. I kind of think he can beat Belal, because he has a very grappling heavy style, but he looks crisper and faster on the feet. I need to rewatch the Belal fight against Leon Edwards. My recollection is it was more of a smothering pace, and he just was very relentless with the takedowns, whereas Sean Brady, I thought, was having some really nice success on the feet, throwing some good combinations with a lot of speed, and maybe it was that threat of the takedown that was keeping Leon on his toes and allowing Sean Brady to connect. But I felt like he's just a very complete fighter. Now, when it came to getting Leon on the ground, when he was eventually having his way with him on the ground, man, it was very, very dominant. And not just in terms of keeping him down, keeping him in a body lock position, but the ground and pound was crazy. It was a lot heavier than what I remember in the Belal fight. So he was just peppering him with shots, heavy, heavy shots. I know at times it looked like he was hitting on the back of the head or getting close, and he got some warnings. But to me, it was always, look, maybe a couple slip in there here and there, but it was because Leon's moving and turning his head. And I mean, it's going to happen, but he was always aiming and targeting for the ear. So like you contrast that with Michael Chandler against Oliveira, there was a lot of clear back of the head shots where it's not as easy to say that it didn't look like Michael Chandler was necessarily aiming for the ear. Those looked more like some blatant headshot, back of the head shots. I don't think that was the case here. Sean Brady was doing his best. Also, Sean Brady, like the volume of the head strikes, it's gonna happen when you're turning your head and moving around. You're gonna connect with some near the back of the head. But I think overall, Sean Brady should walk away from this feeling like it was a very ethical performance. He really did his best to try and connect with the side of the head or the chin. But man, those shots were so heavy. I can't even believe Leon weathered the storm for that long. So Sean Brady is really fun to watch on the ground as well. And then we get to that 4th round when he started. Also, Leon shot a takedown, which was crazy. But I love that about Leon. He's not afraid to shoot takedowns on these really dominant wrestlers. I know that announcers and the commentators said it was a mistake when he did it. And Sean Brady said in the post-fight presser, man, I knew he was struggling when he shot a takedown on me. I don't know if I look at it that way. I don't know if we can say it's a mistake, because I remember Leon caught Usman off guard by shooting a takedown. So, I mean, it's kind of like in football, which I'm not a football fan, but again, going for it on 4th down, faking the punt and catching your opponent off guard occasionally. It looked like maybe that was what he was trying to do, but Sean Brady is just so good on the ground that he was able to reverse it and then get on top of Leon. And so I guess it ended up being a mistake, but was it a mistake in the moment? Maybe that was part of his game plan. I don't know. But then we go into the fourth round, and that finish by Sean Brady, getting him on the ground and then doing that one-arm guillotine on the ground, that was so cool, because guillotines are things that they just don't land very frequently nowadays. I think people have really good guillotine defense, and they're just not able to get that submission. But watching Sean Brady work that, and apparently that being his special move, that's what Paul Felder and Michael Bisping were saying, that he's really good with that guillotine, and he got it on the ground, wrapped him up, tightened it, made him tap. And it was cool because Paul Felder even called it out. He's like, he's got it like 5 seconds before Leon tapped. That was cool. It was exciting. So this fight definitely got me hyped to see Sean Brady again. I really want to see him rematch Bilal Muhammad. But I want to talk, before we say what's next for Sean Brady, I want to talk a little bit more about the welterweight division, because the welterweight division is crazy right now. So let's just look at the rankings. We see we got Bilal Muhammad. Obviously, Leon's going to move down. Sean's going to move up. I don't know where Leon's going to go, number 2, number 3. But look at this at the top. We've got so many contenders. Remember how crazy everybody was going over Joaquin Buckley after he beat Colby? Joaquin dominated Colby, so he's definitely in title contention. And we got Ian Machado Gary still waiting in the wings. I mean, he lost to Shavkat, but that was a very close fight. That showed everybody how dangerous Ian Gary is. I mean, this division is stacked. Look, we still have Gilbert Burns, number 8. I don't think people are feeling too strong about Colby nowadays, but we got Gilbert right there. We've got Sean Brady, who, I mean, I don't see. I mean, he just beat Leon Edwards. Why wouldn't he be next for a title shot potentially? Will he get that? I don't know. Because again, it's just so clogged at the top. We got Shavkat just trying to heal from an injury. He was supposed to fight Bilal. So I imagine once he's healthy, he's going to fight Bilal again. But you can make an argument for Sean Brady to slide in there. Then we got JDM in the mix, who's challenging for the title next. What's going to go down there? We don't know. I think most people are picking Bilal, but that's also very interesting. We still have Kamaru Usman, the reigning champ for so long, who's such an amazing fighter, trying to get over some injuries himself. So what's going to happen when he's healthy again? Who's he going to fight? I don't think they're going to put him against Leon. Maybe it will be Kamaru against Sean Brady. I don't know. There's just a lot of moving pieces at the top of the division, but that makes the welterweight division very exciting. I think it's one of the hottest divisions right now, and we'll see what happens as everything unfolds. But some very, very exciting fighters. And for love him or hate him, Ian Machado Gary waiting in the wings, very talented, very fun. I think that would be very interesting if and when he eventually does get his title shot. If he's able to claim that, I think that'll be good for the sport and for the UFC as well. But anyways, in conclusion, those 3 fights were really, really fun. Those were the only ones I watched. I'm going to go back and watch Molly McCann now, because I do know that she retired, but didn't catch that one in real time, but I will watch that back. But curious to know your thoughts. What do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy the event? I saw some videos. I haven't watched them yet because I wanted to post this first, saying that I think MMA Guru said this was a terrible card. I don't really get why it was so bad. At least from the top, those main 3 fights. I thought Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson was awesome. I thought it was so exciting. I don't feel that badly about Jan Błachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. I know nobody likes to go to a decision in that way, but again, it was a strategic fight. I enjoyed it, but I really, really enjoyed Sean Brady against Leon Edwards. Props to Sean Brady. I thought Leon was going to get it done. Sean is very, very good, very dangerous. I wonder what would happen. I feel like he beats Bilal if they fight again. I don't know, but it'd be close. I can't say for sure, but at least the fact that it would be close and it could go either way makes it exciting. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you enjoy it? Do you agree with me? Did you think the co-main was good, not good? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much, and make sure to click subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and if you like what we got here. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.